In this video, we are going to implement JWT Authentication. JWT is a secure token used to prove who you are when calling an API. Instead of sending username and password on every request, you need to log in once and get a JWT token and send that token with every API request. For that, we need a JWT package for .NET Web API. It enables JWT authentication middleware and validates token. We can download the package from NuGet Package Manager. This is .NET Web API project I have already created. We just need to add JWT authentication. From NuGet Package Manager, we will download Authentication JWT Bearer. This package will allow our .NET Web API to validate and read JWT token. Without this, the application cannot understand bearer token. We will install this package in our project. Here inside model folder, I have created employee file and user file for login credential, and I have login DTO file also for username and password. Here DbContext factory is a class used only at design time, mainly for entity framework core migration. Normally, .NET creates DbContext using dependency injection in Program.cs, but during design time, dependency injection is not available. So, EF core needs a way to manually create DbContext. This is why we create DbContext factory. This is especially required when we are using minimal APIs. Your DbContext is in another project or EF core cannot detect your Now we are inside Program.cs file. Here we will configure services like Swagger, course, database, and most importantly, JWT authentication. Here we are configuring Swagger. We are also adding JWT support inside Swagger so we can test secured APIs. We are defining a security scheme named Bearer. This tells Swagger that our API uses bearer token authentication. These are properties used with JWT for authentication purpose. This add security requirement ensures that Swagger applies this security scheme globally to protected endpoints. Here we are enabling CORS. CORS allows a front-end application to call this API. registering our application DB contacts with dependency injection. Now, whenever we inject application DB contacts in controller, it will automatically connect to database. Now, here we are adding authentication service in our application. These are the default schemes. We are telling the application that our default authentication mechanism is JWT bearer. Here, application scheme validates token, while challenge scheme returns 401 if invalid. This configure how our JWT token will be validated. And here we will define the rules for validating incoming JWT token. Validate issuer checks whether the token was issued by trusted issuer. Validate audience check if the token is indented for this API. Validate lifetime ensure that token is not expired. And validate issuer signing key verifies that token signature matches a secret key. Here we are converting a secret key into byte format, then creating a symmetric security key. This key is used to verify token signature. If someone changes even one character in token, validation will fail. We are inside the app.setting.json file. This file is used to store application configuration like login settings, database connection string, and JWT configuration. In this, I have made a database connection string, and this is a JWT section. This section contains all JWT configuration values required for token generation and validation. This is the secret key used to digitally sign the JWT token. It ensures that the token cannot be tampered with. If someone gets the access to this key, they can generate fake tokens. That's why in real production application, this key should be stored securely using environment variables or Azure Key Vault. Then issuer represents who generated the token. In our case, it is employee admin portal. During validation, the server checks whether the token issuer matches this value. Here, audience represents who the token is intended for. Here, it means the token is meant for employee admin portal users. If the audience doesn't match, the token will be rejected. Now I'm creating another controller. We can name it as authentication controller, or in short, we can name it as AuthController. This controller will be responsible for authenticating users and generating JWT tokens. Here I will use controller base. Since this is a web API, we inherit from controller base instead of controller. Then we are injecting ApplicationDbContext to access the database, and I configuration to read values from appsettings.json. Now I'm creating constructor that uses dependency injection to receive the database context and configuration automatically. Because we have registered these services in Program.cs file. So .NET will provide these automatically. It accepts user credentials from the request body. Here, login DTO contains username and password properties. We have seen this in model folder inside login DTO file. Then we are checking if a user exists in the database with matching username and password. In real world applications, we should never store passwords in plain text. We must hash passwords using bcrypt or ASP.NET Identity. If user is not found, we return 401 unauthorized. This prevents token generation for invalid users. Then we are creating claims. These are the pieces of information about the user that we store inside the JWT token. Claim types.name store username. And claim types.role store user role. Later, we can use the role claim for role-based authentication like admin-only endpoints. Now we are reading the secret key from appsetting.json and converting it into byte format. This key will be used to digitally sign the token. This defines the algorithm used to sign the token. Here we are using HMAC SHA-256, which is a symmetric encryption algorithm. Symmetric means the same key is used for signing and validation. Now we are creating JWT token where issuer specifies who generated the token. Audience specifies who the token is intended for. These parameters matches should be matched from Program.cs file. This sets token expiration time. After this time, the token becomes invalid. This attaches the digital signature to the token. JWT Security Token Handler converts the token object into string format. Then we return it to the client. When we return OK, the client stores this token and sends it in authorization header as bearer token. This is how our authentication controller works. Here I am providing the path for the controller. Here we are authorizing the API CRUD. In our database, we need to add user table for login purpose. Now we will run our API. We will see the JWT authentication on the top right corner. In this, we need to write the value of token. This is the username and password. First, we will write the username and then password similar to the value that we have stored. Here our token is generated. Then we will open Postman to check that our authentication system is working or not. We will only write the token value inside authorization. Now we can check the get action also if it is working or not, since we have got our token value. Make sure in authorization we have selected JWT bearer. Yes, it is working. So our JWT authentication is working. Thank you for watching.